The feel was that more often than not, as teachers, we are spending a lot of time and energy in teaching a lesson to a child in the class. But has the lesson impacted, or has the lesson actually reached to every child is a question that we needed to ask. And the feel was that probably the relevance or the whole essence of the topic was not getting across to every child. Could we imagine to have a scenario where the lesson reaches, or every lesson reaches to a child? So when we say relevance, it allows, or it gives an opportunity to students to understand why they're learning and what they're learning on the daily basis. And relationship allows for them to not only collaborate but also celebrate each other's presence in the class. And rigor allows for an in-depth understanding of the content. What if our usual blackboards that are available in the classrooms become our strongest ally? What if we could use this as a tool to intentionally put the relevance, relationships and rigor in a classroom to have the desired impact on our learners? We divide the board in a way that the goals or the relevance or the 3 R's that we talk of, the relationships, the rigor and the relevance gets visible at one space to the children, so that the impact of the lesson is that much more stronger. So we have a topic area which is laid out, where we write down the content that needs to be taught. Then the relevance area, where the teacher would translate or articulate the relevance of why of learning what they are learning. When I teach a topic, say for example soil, without actually articulating the relevance, then it remains a mere topic. It's only when I add relevance or I add an objective to what I'm teaching is when it actually reaches out to my learners. I would like to share with you the relevance of what we're going to be learning today and why is it important. And then we have the space for the guided inquiry. So a certain space on the board which gets occupied by the guided inquiry, which basically runs through the steps in which the content may be delivered to the learners. Or what may be the words that come to our mind when we hear the word or when we read the word soil. The first part of my plan included mapping the children's previous knowledge of the topic, for which we created a mind map. We learn about soil to gain a deeper understanding of the elements of nature as an inspiration of life. Languages of learning is a tool which allows to translate the content in the most interesting and an interactive way to children.
How we're going to do it today is we are going to play a quick game.
Then there's a separate column which talks about the vocabulary. So the new vocabulary that is being used in translating that content into learning gets well defined and articulated in one corner.
What does waylaid mean? What did you understand by it? Misha? Diverted.
Another very huge component of a board protocol is the relationships. So a column which is laid out clearly on the board to say that when does a learner or when does a teacher acknowledge a surplus that is being added by the learner in the class. Surplus would mean when a learner adds value to the session, either by maybe sharing an important piece of information, adding to a discussion, or maybe asking a valuable question, or even by mere listening to others' perspective. So the presence of the learner in the class itself can add value. Similarly, deficit would mean when a learner sort of takes away value. Maybe when the learner laughs at others, or is distracted in the class, or maybe is hijacking the session. This is the way which allows for to understand the collective responsibility of the learners and the teacher in uplifting the session. When we talk of the deficit, it doesn't really indicate punishment. It basically allows for children or the learners to understand that it's a collective responsibility of all the learners to add value.
Someone who is outside your peripheral view can see you, and they can see what your behavior is doing to the session. So this is more of a teacher's perspective on what they feel you have done in the session rather than what you think you have done in the session. And it's not a punishment, it's just a way to help you realize your mistakes.
These different sections that are made on the blackboard help the teacher a lot in the planning. So when I'm planning, I would intentionally articulate my relevance Yeah, I would on intention put in my guided inquiries or also my performance of understanding. It allows for the learners to consolidate their learning at the end of the session. So when we call the closing the loop, the board allows for that closing the loop to happen in the most impactful way.
As our relevance is the final countdown, like we are ending our Riverside journey in the next 2 days. Insane was one of the key experiences which all of us needed before we move out into the real world. A lot of people tell us about what is going to happen ahead, and they might tell us stories of what we may face in college and stuff, but unless we face the reality, like we have to go and conquer our fears basically.
So this is one protocol that is being followed all through the key stages. So it happens in key stage 1, 2 and 3.
It makes clear in our minds what we're supposed to learn and what we're supposed to, when we leave the session, what is supposed to stay in our minds.
The board can show us what to do. It can give us a direction. Everything's organized, so we know like the relevance. It helps us to understand what's going to happen in the session and why we're actually doing anything.
Your name is on the board, so it makes you feel that you have done something special and important which has added value to the class.
Board protocol at Riverside basically helps enhance the student learning. Earlier we used to have a normal typical board style learning where the teacher used to enter and all of us used to pounce on the teacher saying that, ma'am, what topic are we going to study, or what method are we going to do, what are we going to do in class today. I think the protocol basically it organizes the thoughts for the student and the teacher so that less time is wasted during class and everyone knows exactly what is going to happen.
One criteria is listening carefully. So I can see the criteria and listen carefully, so I listen more and I get the value of the session.
I click the picture of my board and add that as part of my document. So that picture becomes like a visual evidence to the practice, which allows me to not only reflect on my own practice, but also allows me to share it with whosoever I need to share with, whether it's the leaders or my colleagues. Board acts as my conscience, guiding me and helping me remember everything which is important for my practice.